The Earth people who can think are so frightened by those who cannot. The dead. The dead.
Hey guys, we're back for another episode of Viral Venom. This is episode number 30. We are here with a couple special guests tonight. Before we get started, we have to give a special thank you to Mykall Claude Thomas and the B Movie Monsters for allowing us to use their song Plan 9 in our intro video. Thank you so much to Mykall Claude Thomas and the B Movie Monsters. Check out the B Movie Monsters on streaming platforms all across the Monsterverse.
Yes, all across the Monsterverse.
What's your favorite B Monster movie song?
The B Movie Monsters.
Yeah, what I say.
You kind of butchered
Yeah.
it. I don't even know.
What's your favorite
My
Mykall
favorite
Claude
one
Thomas
is-
song?
Well, of course, it's called Revenge.
It's called Revenge. Is that the theme song for Killer Pizza?
That is our theme song for Killer Pizza. If
Very
you haven't
cool.
heard it yet, that is available on all streaming platforms across the Monsterverse. So be sure to check that out.
Awesome. So we are going to get started right away. We have Mykall with us for about 30 to 45 minutes, something like that. We also have Shawn Robinson joining us. So Mykall Davis and Shawn Robinson are both talented actors that joined us on the set of Friday the 13th Blood Loss. I thought today we could do something a little bit different. Instead of focusing on Friday the 13th Blood Loss, we could take some time to talk about getting into the acting world and what it takes to thrive as an actor and what we actually think about up-and-coming actors.
Okay, let's do it. Let's
All
bring
right,
them out.
let's bring them out. Oh my God, it's Mykall Davis.
Hello,
the
hello.
Mykall Davis. So,
One and only.
yeah, this is one of the live streams, one of the viral Venom episodes that I was most excited for. Get to talk to my good friend Mykall Davis, who portrays Henry in Friday the 13th Blood Loss. Very talented actor, and a great all-around guy and all that good stuff. So super excited to have you here with us.
Sorry.
Okay. She's
Yeah.
fixing her
Having
audio.
issues.
Okay.
I should be connected again. I'm sorry.
All
I'm
right.
so sorry.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, thanks so much for
Yes.
hanging out with us tonight. So this is one of the ones that I was the most excited for. Normally we have the guests on, we get to talk about blood loss and their characters and all that fun stuff. So I thought we'd have Mykall on and we go, it's for the children and all that stuff. But I kind of feel like the audience might benefit a little bit more if we talk about things outside of the film a little bit. So what it takes to be an actor and all that good stuff. But before we dive into it, we do have to ask you a very important question. We recently announced that Nancy and Ritter joined the cast of Killer Pizza. So whenever we have a new guest on with us, Mandy has to ask the same question.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I know this is going to sound like, because I'm on the show, what I'm going to say, but I like the original Friday the 13th. It came out in May of 1980.
Mykall knows more about the Friday the 13th than I do. He's so I kind of
that original that he had mentioned has Ari Lehman, who played Jason Voorhees, the boy that jumps out of the lake. And as everybody knows, Ari Lehman is starring in Friday the 13th Blood Loss.
He's featured in it. So is Mykall Davis. And then yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's a great question, because it's like asking someone their favorite song, right? But Friday the 13th, the original, is very good because it does tie in. I felt like the set location was very similar to the original movie. Even the cabins from the lake, the lake it was a little bit smaller, but it looked just like Camp Coastal Lake. So it allows you to ease into the character and fully immerse yourself into the character when you're in that habitat. I would say the second one is probably going to be, it's not so much a slasher, but I like Dream a Little Dream with both Corys. Have you seen that?
Yes, I've seen that one.
I haven't seen that one. I have to check it out.
Yeah, conceptually, and obviously the Halloween series were very good.
All good answers.
All good answers.
So I'm going to use that as a segue a little bit. You're in your car. Why are you in your car?
Well, I'm in my car because I'm between scenes. I'm filming a project in downtown Los Angeles called Desire, and I don't have to go back on set until 7:30 Pacific. So I found a little spot about probably 100 yards from the set. Found the shade. It's very bright out here right now, and it is only a little after 6 o'clock Pacific time. But I'm waiting to run a couple of night scenes. I'm going to do a scene at 7:30, then we're going to run a night scene in this film called Desire. I'm playing a character called Paul Gauguin, who is very similar to Henry. Successful businessman, real estate mogul, specializes in M&A. He's used to winning. He's always one step ahead. And he excels because he looks at life and the business world and everything as a game of chess, and he usually wins. But unlike Henry, who's one step ahead, two steps ahead all the time, gets himself into a situation that he may not be able to get out of for the first time.
So it should be safe to say that it sounds like a major role that with Paul. Is that okay to say that it's a major role?
It's okay to say Paul is the lead for this particular film, and we've released some behind the scenes footage here and there. I've got one still that I've posted on Instagram for it, but we're really excited about it. But again, I like it because the character is very similar to Henry. I like playing these types of characters. They're very challenging from a lot of different perspectives. They have some good qualities, but they also have some where I would say the average fan would say maybe not so good qualities, but they think what they're doing is right.
Right. So where I was going with that was, you're in your car right now because you're literally on set filming a movie. It's a lead role in that film. We just got done finishing Blood Loss. That's a lead role. You have a life outside of acting, but you still manage to find time to do all these things and to balance the different films and to balance your life at home. And you still made it to the interview on time, even though you're in your car. You still fulfilled your obligation, what you felt maybe was an obligation, and you're dependable and reliable. And I think those are all good qualities for an actor to have. Would you agree that it's, important for up and coming actors to have that same sense of reliability and dependability?
Absolutely. 100%. It's important I feel like, to be very reliable, dependable. You're a good person to have on set. You're a good locker room person, for lack of better words. You're coachable, you're manageable, you take direction very well. If you say, I'm going to be there at 6, I'm there at 5:55. That way you build a brand and a reputation for someone that's going to show up. If I hire this person, I know that they're going to show up prepared. They're going to take adjustments if we need to. Sometimes things don't go down on set as they were drawn up on the script. Things aren't shot in sequence, so this person's going to be able to adjust accordingly and bring the character to life in interesting and dynamic ways.
So Mykall is It says Mykall D there. He's Michael Davis, very talented actor. We had him on set with us for Friday the 13th Blood Loss. He portrays a character named Henry. Henry is the main antagonist in the film, so Mykall had a very large role. Mykall showed up on time when he was expected to be there, dressed professionally, carries himself very well, gets along with the other cast members and the crew. Everybody loves being around him. So those are things that I would, attest to. And I'm sure that the other, I don't know, 50 people or whatever that were on set around the same time as him would all agree with me. There wouldn't be one person to disagree at all. Mykall doesn't bring any drama to this set. He's not there to gossip. He's there to do a job and to get it done. And so that's why I thought, Henry is a special character, and Mykall's somebody that I appreciate, and I think you're a very talented guy. And so I thought maybe if we had you on tonight and talked about a little bit more than just Henry, that somebody would see this and maybe benefit from it and say like, oh, maybe I could kind of follow a little bit closer to Mykall's path. So just to give some context to it, how long have you been acting?
I've been acting for about 5 years.
Okay. And go ahead.
No, I've been acting for about 5 years. If you would say, what advice can you give someone that wants to get into acting? Mm-hmm. You have to, at least for me, you have to be in it for the right reasons. It is your passion for the arts, and as I said earlier, to be completely immerse yourself into somebody other than yourself and bring that character to life in interesting and dynamic ways, and focus on the work and be in it for the right reasons instead of, oh, I want to have a lot of followers or I want to be famous. I mean, that's not why I'm in acting. I'm in acting because I like the craft of acting and I like working on the craft all the time. And it's not something you do as a hobby, or at least I do as a hobby. It's a 24/7 process, and you have to find your own process that works best for you, and everyone's a little bit different in their process. But I would say if you're interested, one is find the right process. There's different processes out there as far as when I say process, technique, acting technique, and then find a good acting class and a good acting coach and dive in and start doing it. If I'm not working on a project, I'm running scenes every week with an acting partner or an acting coach.
So when you were on set, I didn't see you taking any selfies. I saw you, like you said, you're not there for the followers. You're there to focus on the acting. So just to kind of echo that, you weren't on set taking selfies or taking 100 pictures or anything like that. You were going through scenes with Christian or with Clifton or with whoever was there, Shawn or whoever was there at the time. And I think that's, people should admire that. The actors that were around on set should see that, and it should be a positive influence on them, I think. I see so many people that are just, they want that attention, which is understandable, but I think that there's a certain amount of there's something about your approach, I think, that separates you from some of these other actors. And before you said that there were different methods of acting. So you do some things that I've never seen any of these other actors do, if I'm allowed to say it.
Sure.
If I'm allowed to reveal behind the curtain a little bit.
Sure.
So you're a very sensory based actor. You like to find certain things that draw you into the character. None of the other actors on Blood Loss have done that at all. None of the other actors in any of the other projects have ever mentioned that ever. Where did you pick up on that, and how does it work exactly? If we're allowed to give them the keys a little bit.
Dude, the greatest gift I can give is to share, what I've learned. And I've had a lot of people that have been very good to me in this business. I've been very blessed. The people have been very unselfish. And so I feel like my responsibilities as an actor is to be unselfish. And if there's something that I can impart that helps someone get started and motivated to get into this industry, I'm going to do it. The first book that I picked up was Larry Moss's MOSS, Larry Moss, The Intent to Live. Larry Moss conceptually, he took a couple of different techniques, Meisner, Stella Adler, and combined them into his own technique and made them his own. And Larry Moss, for me, I almost brought it today. I didn't think I was going to, I usually bring it with me to set. If I'm studying a scene, I have it. I'm telling you, it's got duct tape on it. I've had it, and it's just my go-to. And I have it sitting beside my script or a scene every time I'm working on a scene. But with Larry Moss, you have to come into a scene with an emotional point of view. Because if you don't come into a scene with an emotional point of view, chances are that scene could be very flat or one-dimensional. So you have to, whether in the beginning when I started to do this, it was pick an emotion. It may not be the right emotion, but just come into the scene with an emotion or a couple of emotions. And then you build into what's referred to as emotion on demand. And Meisner referred to this as your golden box. And your golden box is you've got to be able to have emotion on demand. You've got to name 5 emotions, and you've got to be able to call them up and pluck them like the strings on a guitar in a moment's notice. And so I started building that technique and skill set to be able to call up certain emotions. From there, sensory work is just, if you think about it, see, smell, taste, hear, feel. If we're walking around every day, there's certain things that we visually see and smell and taste and hear with the 5 senses. So from that emotional point of view, I incorporate some type of sensory to it as well. And for say for blood loss, for example, there was the smell of the camp, the smell of the woods, the smell of the rain, the day it rained, and so just from coming at it, just from those perspectives allows you to get out of your head, not be self-conscious, and everyone says this, be in the moment, which is now. And it's really easier said than done. I don't know if that is sort of what you're looking for, but that's sort of the process have used over the years, and that's evolved into other studios in Hollywood that I've been part of and still part of. And I call it going to the gym. So if I'm between projects, I'll go into a certain studio and work with certain coaches and run scenes for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping for. So yeah, watching you act and seeing your approach was very different from the approach that the other actors were taking. And everybody's going to do things a little bit differently. But I just thought that you had a very sophisticated way of doing things. And so, that's one thing that always stuck out to me. Watching you with certain props, feel it or hold it close, or there was always something, and that just was, I think, sometimes missing from some of the other scenes involving other actors, that maybe that could have enhanced the scenes a little bit. For some of the people that are just getting into acting, maybe it's just food for thought. Maybe they'll see this and kind of, take notes. And
yeah, there's a lot to cover. I mean, there's a lot to unpack. It's an excellent question, but it is a lot to unpack. But if I could say anything, it would be coming into a scene with an emotional point of view, incorporating sensory, a weather condition. For example, if you're coming inside from the outside in a scene and it's very cold outside, you've got to come in maybe with your, blowing your hands, because you got to, someone's got to, the audience has to believe you just came in from the cold, and so we filmed. So for Blood Loss, we filmed a lot of scenes in late October, and it was cold. I had on that black coat. It was very warm. I had on several layers, but we had to also repeat that when we were just back there recently, and it's different weather conditions, and you have to somehow make yourself feel cold, when you're sweating, underneath the heavy winter coat. And then there's weather conditions and things like that. But building, also, the character has to have a background. I believe in you can. Some characters believe in back. Some actors believe in building a background, but I certainly do. And it comes down to being the simple. Henry was born. Henry was a child. He was a child. He had a childhood. He had teenage years. Did he go to college or did he not go to college? Where did he go to college? Did he go get another advanced? Did he get an MBA, PhD? And then why did he choose the career he was in? Did he come from money? Socioeconomic? Did he not come from money? Was his parents? What did his mother do? What does his father do? How many brothers and sisters does he have, if any? So it's having that level of detail for the character, for me at least, it gives me imagery as you're running through as you're presenting the scenes. And to tie it back into the title of the book, it's called The Intent to Live. What Larry Moss really meant there is the intent to act. And as an actor, you're supposed to be living on screen. In other words, it has to be believable. And so what I try to do at the end of the day, incorporating that technique and process, is to make the scene look believable.
So we have our good friend, the second guest for the evening, Shawn Robinson, hanging out backstage. We're going to bring him out here. But before we do, did you want to ask Mykall anything at all before we bring Shawn out?
Well, I did want to ask him about when he was filming with us for the Friday 13th Blood Loss, and he was getting into character for Henry and everything. What was your favorite moment?
For Henry?
Yeah, for Henry.
There were a lot of favorite moments for Henry, but there were a lot of, but I think my favorite moment was the first time I saw Brain approaching, and that was my favorite moment, because I don't think you could have picked a better actor for that role, and to me, him, with not giving anything away, but walking up with certain items that we were looking for, and he delivered, but just having those interactions with Brain were my favorite moments. And then some of the special effects that you and Anthony cooked up were really nice too.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, so with that being said, we'll bring Shawn out, Brain himself. But right before we do, can you give us just a quick, without spoiling anything, a quick description of Henry, who Henry is, so the people watching know?
I would say Henry's a very successful biotech billionaire who is also evolved into transhumanism, and who has purchased Camp Crystal Lake, and he's owned it for 2 or 3 decades. He has a wife that's very ill, and he's fighting for a cause. And he is through the process of research and discovery and scoping how to save people from losses. That he's on a quest he's on a quest for better outcomes, and that's what he's going to do. And nothing's going to get in his way for discovering what he needs to do to save his loved ones.
See, that's why he's the best. You see that description? What a description. Dude, I didn't even know this stuff about Henry. What the hell? Mykall, why didn't you tell us? All right,
thank you.
So we're gonna bring Shawn out here. I know we don't have you for too much longer, and I wanted to get you guys on screen together if we can. Do you still have a little bit more? Okay. Let's bring out pleasure. Guest number 2, the world famous, the one and only Shawn Robinson. Oh my God, there he is. All right, so Shawn's on mute right now. There he goes. All right, so now he can hear us. So Shawn's a talented actor and stand-up comedian. He portrays the character Brain in Friday the 13th Blood Loss. He appears in some scenes with Henry. Shawn, first of all, since we have you on, Mandy has to ask you a very important question. We recently announced that Nancy Ann Ritter from Scream had joined the cast of Killer Pizza. So Mandy has to ask Shawn a very important question.
What's your favorite scary movie?
So I like so many of them, but I'm probably going to go with Suspiria, the original one with Dario Argento.
That's a first.
Have you seen that?
I don't think I've seen that one.
I don't know what that one is, so we'll have to add it to the list. You guys are giving us some movies to watch tonight. So Shawn, you are Brain. Without giving any spoilers away, what is that character about? Can you give us a description of Brain without spoiling the fun parts?
Well, essentially, he's basically Henry's right-hand man. He's the guy that does all the dirty work for Henry, and he has gone and acquired a few essential items for him.
So the way I kind of described Brain to Mykall, I think before we started filming, I was like, because we had filmed some scenes with Henry in October, and then we brought him back in July, and I was like, this time, like, Henry's the same car, we just added some flames to him, right? We got him like a sidekick, we got him like all these cool props and stuff.
Henry has a headset.
I know we don't have very much more time with Mykall, but while we have you guys here together, and we'll get to we'll have Shawn on with us for a little bit longer so we can talk about some fun stuff with him. Shawn, what was it like filming scenes with Henry or with Mykall? What was that dynamic like?
Well, it's interesting because I had gotten the script and I sort of had a feel for what the character was going to be, but I really decided on who he was when I met Mykall, because that changed a little bit. I mean, it was always going to be a guy that worked for him and got things for him, but I decided that my character just really believed in his cause and really wanted Henry to approve of all the stuff that he did.
That's interesting. So Brain wanted Henry to say, like, to kind of give him the pat on the shoulder and, like, good job, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So Brain wanted Henry's approval is what he's saying.
Yeah, I think the chemistry between Mykall and Shawn was phenomenal. You guys just killed the scenes, and I can't wait for everybody to see the footage.
There's a lot of fun stuff in the movie, but Brain gave us an excuse to add those little extra, the cherry on top in a lot of the scenes.
I think it helps bring out Henry's character even more for people to understand a lot more. And when they were together on, like, when we were filming the scene, I'm sorry, I'm getting an echo, so it's a little difficult for me. You could just see that it just brought more out in Henry, especially when we filmed a scene like the one in the rain.
So, yeah, I think the way I described that relationship before filming was Henry's Dr. Frankenstein and Brain is like the Igor to Dr. Frankenstein almost, where it's like they're cooking something up and they have that kind of relationship, which still I think makes sense to me. But it's interesting
I'm much more
to get those.
Igor than I am Fritz, because Fritz was actually in the original Frankenstein. He worked for Dr. Frankenstein, but it wasn't like he believed in Dr. Frankenstein.
Mm.
I always kind of seen it as an Igor thing.
Igor. Yeah. Well, I always felt
Young
like
Frankenstein.
I felt like Igor, but also I felt like Brain was very intelligent because I thought that kind of added more to the Henry dynamic too. Igor or Brain wasn't like, a foolish kind of guy. He was just he had a job to do and he was doing the job, I thought. But very cool to see you guys on screen together. I enjoyed filming those scenes with you guys a lot. The ones with you guys together. Um, while we have them both here, because we don't have Mykall for too much longer, is there anything you wanted to ask Mykall, either about Mykall and Shawn or just, anything at all?
No, I do want to thank Mykall, though, for everything that he did put into the character, because he executed his scenes very well. And I just really appreciate the professionalism and the devotion and everything that you put into this for us. We really couldn't have done this. You're one of the major parts to it. So without you, we wouldn't have been able to get that level of excellence with it. So we really appreciate everything you did for us.
And thank you for the kind words. No, it was a thrill to be on set, working with Brain, and also collaborating with you and Anthony before a scene, how we wanted that scene to play out and what our objective was and what we wanted the outcome to be and what we wanted it to look like. And but Brain was a great addition. And before you came on, I was telling Anthony and MANDEE that she had asked me what was some of the highlights for my favorite scenes, and I said the scenes with you, because they were very good.
Yeah, I thought it worked out pretty well. I thought Henry was really amazing the way it was in October, and there we were 9 months later in July, bringing Henry back and bringing John Hawthorne back, and seeing how they kind of evolved over 9 months was pretty fun to see, and to see them again in person, and the dynamic between between Henry and Hawthorne in these new scenes that were added, and the scenes with Brain, and the scenes with Stella.
Oh yeah, that was a very fun scene, a challenging scene, but very fun. A fun scene.
I thought we did some of the scenes in a way where I think most people would have done multiple takes and gotten multiple angles, but I just thought, how cool would it be, even if it's just one angle, how cool would it be if you just nailed this whole thing in one take? And that's what we did with some of the shots. And so they'll see you, and there's no overdub. If you pay attention to the footage, there's no cuts. It's literally just raw, one take, action, go. We film it, and that's exactly how it appears in the movie. And the scene with Stella is one of them, and then the scene with Hawthorne at the gazebo is another one.
That was, when you can do that, and when you can get the shot to look the way you want it to look from a blocking perspective, and not just trying to talk technical as we're here, but if you can complete and present a scene in one take, it's a lot cleaner, and the audience can see that too. They can have a profound appreciation of that. And then if we take that to the scene with Hawthorne at the pavilion or the gazebo, the way, and I'm not going to give away what, can we talk about how we did the lighting or no?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you have time? I don't know.
I would love it. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Hey, was Shawn there for that?
He was. We filmed the last scene with you and him right after. but I don't think he was there to see that.
Oh, you missed it. So so I'll let you set up the, how we decided to do the lighting, which I thought it turned out really well.
So we went, what's the word? we went the alternative route with this one. So it's nighttime, it's pitch dark. It takes time to set up lights, and it doesn't always, there are no outlets at the pavilion or the gazebo. We could have plugged them in, but we have some wireless stuff too. But what we did was we used the high beams on Christian Besser's truck. We have the high beams shooting out, and I thought it was it was cool the way it looks, because half of your face, it's like low lighting, right? So like half of Michael's face is covered in shadow. The other half is, you can see it, but then Christian's there next to him, and he has the same effect, but on the opposite side. So the opposite side of Christian's face is covered in shadow, and then the other side's lit up.
Loved it. No, and then that's another example of, that's a 4.5 minute scene. I mean, close to it. And if you can do that, if you can capture that in one take, which we did, again, it's a lot cleaner, and you had the right angle. And I like the way that you set that up from a blocking perspective, and just having the light shining through the gazebo was a very interesting effect on the characters and where they were at that point in the film,
And watching it, they won't be able to tell that there are truck high beams.
Well, no, but it's got it's a very interesting, cool look, if you will.
Yeah, I like how it turned out. My whole thing was, I was just like, man, if we could get that done in one take, I thought that would have been pretty good, even if it's kind of I guess it's maybe a technical thing too. Some people might not see it and realize that you guys did that in one take, but that's what it is.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I know you have to get going. I want to keep you, but I can't. So hopefully we'll get you on again at some point. We'll be able to talk more about all the acting stuff that you're doing now. Before we let you go, is there anything that we should have mentioned?
You covered the waterfront effectively, so thank you for having me on. Great to see you and MANDEE as always. Great to see Shawn. Enjoyed working with you. Look forward to hopefully working with you again, my friend and sidekick and go-to right-hand man. So, but my best to all of you for a good night, and I will talk and see you all very soon. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much. I appreciate everything. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
All right, thank you.
Bye, Mykall.
That was Mykall Davis, an awesome guy, an amazing actor, someone that I think people should try to learn something from if they see this video and they're trying to figure out what to do or why, whatever. But we're here with the incredible Shawn Robinson, super talented actor and ultra funny stand-up comedian. So Shawn, thanks for hanging out with us. We got you for a little bit longer, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, as long as you want me. So.
Oh yeah. All right. So let's.
I could stay till the cows come home, which I don't know exactly what time that is. I don't know what type of timepieces cows have. Bovine time, I guess.
Let's ask Shawn some of the questions that we normally ask, so we can get to know Shawn a little bit. Shawn, what made you want to get involved with Friday the 13th Blood Loss?
So I'm going to give you the slightly sarcastic answer, but yes, it actually is a bucket list item that I always wanted to be in a movie with Jason Voorhees. I've been a fan of the Friday the 13th films since I was a young boy. So
nothing wrong with that. And if I'm allowed to say this, which I think it's a good thing for everybody. So before you came on, I was talking to Mykall Davis. We were trying to give some pointers to people that were maybe up and coming actors, people that are aspiring actors. So I believe that you had applied for a couple different roles months ago, like several months ago. Am I right?
Yeah. In fact, I
Okay.
think I might have even worn this shirt when I did the auditions. I don't know if that was a plus or a minus.
That's right. You auditioned. So you actually auditioned for multiple roles months, way before you were cast in the film. So you had applied for these different roles. We didn't end up choosing you for those roles. And then what happened was we came up with Brain. We put out a casting call for it. You auditioned for that, and we immediately went like, yeah, he's perfect for it. And I think that role is probably cooler than the one that you auditioned for. Actually, I don't even think you auditioned for Brain. I think you auditioned for something else. It was like the third time auditioning or something or applying.
Yeah.
And we saw it and we were like, well, we have this other character that's even better. And what do you think about that? You were happy with it, I think. And,
Oh yeah.
so it worked out for all of us. We were excited to find the perfect actor for the character. You had so I think what I'm getting at is perseverance, right? So you applied, didn't get the role, you didn't boo-hoo, you didn't get mad, you didn't go online and go on Facebook and write up nasty things about us. You applied again, didn't get that role, whatever, it is what it is. Then eventually you applied for this other thing and you were offered a bigger role than what you were applying for. And so first thing is things happen for a reason, I think, is part of it. And then the other thing is that you didn't give up. You kept your head up. You kept applying, and we got lucky, and we found you, this awesome, personable, wonderful actor that was perfect for the character that we were casting. Right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
I just thought you forgot I was here.
No, I didn't forget that you're here. Do you want to say something?
No, I'll wait until you finish saying all that because I had some questions about when he was filming.
Go ahead, ask him.
You're still going on.
No, go ahead, ask him.
Well, like you would. Well, I don't think you really finished your point though. Anthony's sitting there telling everybody that you were persistent and didn't give up. You're very professional about everything, and you ended up getting a really awesome role in the film. Did you have any advice with people when it comes to things like that?
Well, I mean, if you want to be acting, you're going to have to be able to cope with rejection, because rejection isn't always "you suck." Sometimes you're just not the right guy in the right place, and then sometimes you can, like, a good acting story is. I don't know if you're a big fan of the sitcom Cheers, but the mailman character. But the mailman character literally auditioned for Norm, and they had found an actor they thought was a better Norm, but they went, "We like you," and they created the character of Cliff the mailman because they enjoyed him so much on the audition, even though there wasn't initially a part for him. And that's an example of not getting the part you auditioned for, but because you put your all out there, and they remembered you getting another part. And I mean, I think a lot of people remember the mailman character, so it wouldn't have been. I mean, another case on that is in The Walking Dead. Daryl Dixon was created because they liked the actor, even though the part that he auditioned for was his brother, and there was no Daryl Dixon in the original script. So I mean, that's a couple examples of how that works. But I mean, another thing is, if you do stand-up comedy, you learn to get that thick skin for rejection very quickly. Because when you're doing acting, if you do acting and people don't like it, you can always go, "Well, I'm good, but the director was bad or the material is bad." But when you do stand-up, it's all you. So when you go out there and you win the crowd over and they're laughing at all your jokes, you are on top of the world. But every once in a while you'll go out there and you will bomb terribly, and you have to be able to take that and go out again, because if you have confidence in your ability and you go, well, I know my material is good, they just weren't vibing with me, that will help you go out and be possibly better the next time.
That's really good advice.
Did you have more questions for him?
Well, I didn't know if you had anything that you wanted to follow up with that, so that way it didn't seem like I was cutting it right off.
Well, I was thinking about Christian Bester was another example. I always use him as an example. He's, I always end up mentioning him because he was originally supposed to be a background extra in Blood Loss. We needed a new John Hawthorne because the actor that we had cast for the role disappeared. And so we offered it to Christian. We thought he did a good job. Then we ended up writing more scenes for him, and then then he became like the lead. Then we needed somebody for
Jason.
Then we needed somebody for Jason's. Now he's Jason and John Hawthorne, so he's got like this double major role thing in the movie. And then he applied for something. He applied for a character that was a lot smaller of a role. He applied for Earl's character, and he applied for Dominic's dad, and he applied for another character. He applied for like two small characters, and he was totally wrong for them. We saw the audition video and we're like, oh no. And he was meant to be, just a background extra. And he was dependable and reliable and easy to work with. And, we asked him if he would do it. He jumped on it, and now he's the lead in the movie, and he's Jason. And then we made a quick demo reel for him in October. He used that footage to get on the Oxygen channel. He played a serial killer on the Oxygen channel. Then he took all this footage and he used it to get on Law and Order. So then he was on Law and Order, speaking role on Law and Order. So yeah, you can't crumble under that kind of pressure, at least, right? You kind of have to have thick skin.
You have to have the thick skin. You have to be persistent, even if they say no, like what Shawn was doing, like Christian was doing. You just keep reapplying. You can keep reapplying to the same film, same television show. It doesn't matter. As long as they keep putting out those roles, just keep doing it. And they do see you.
Just don't stalk people.
The more that you do it, the more that it does stick. And
just don't stalk people and don't be annoying about it.
I'm not saying not to stalk and be annoying.
It's okay to follow up with things too,
they're
right?
submitting their material and everything
right.
for their auditions and everything. They're doing it right.
So what other kind of advice could Shawn give to an actor that's just starting out, that wants to either get in acting or kind of get to the next level, so to say? What kind of advice would you give?
Oh, well, what level are they on to begin with?
Let's say it's somebody that has never acted before and they just want to start acting.
Well, in that, you can always look in to see if there's any kind of community theater. The other thing to do if you're really starting out is to look in to see if there's any type of acting classes you can take. If you go to Actors Connection, I know that they offer acting classes, through Zoom. If you're not in an area that has acting classes, you can attend in person. Because the best experience you're going to have more than anything else is doing it. And you just have to, get out there and start. If you're young enough, even though this isn't necessarily the best type of acting, there's always the High School Musical. That's a place to really get dip your toe in if you're young enough. But if you're old enough, if you look around, there's still community theater in many small towns. If you a good place to go is to sign up for an account at Backstage. That's literally how I found out about Blood Loss, because you can go there and then you can look through the auditions. You can nail it down to an area that you live in, and you can do that as well. And they do both theater and commercials, and video, movies, and video and TV. And you're gonna have to spend money to do Backstage, but once you pay the fee, all your auditions are technically free. Once you feel comfortable enough in it, you can also look up and get an agent that will also help you get work. Generally speaking, if you don't get work, they don't get paid, so they have like an incentive to get you work. Although
Right.
they also try to make money other ways. They're always like, "Hey, we can get you new headshots." But I mean, essentially, they need you to get employed in order to get paid. So they have some incentive in trying to help you out.
Right.
And it also makes you look more professional.
Yep.
Yes.
All good. Some more good advice tonight for people watching that want to get into acting, or everyone's at a different level. So this is all all good stuff, I think. So how long has Shawn been doing stand-up comedy?
So I don't like to really give away my age, but I've been doing stand-up comedy for probably about 15 years.
Okay.
I mean, there was a period where I felt like I was really, breaking out, and then COVID happened, and I felt like I got set back a lot. But I didn't stop. As soon as things opened up, I started trying to go to clubs. I started doing all the open mic nights again.
So what's in the future for Shawn as far as acting?
Well, I have been cast in Boredom and Bloodshed. So
What?
What?
Oh my God, that's cool. No,
But,
we're excited to work with you on that. We talk about your character more than the other characters, to be honest. I always mention like Shawn's character. I'm like, yeah, maybe we could do this, or maybe we could do that, or maybe it could be this name or that name, or always something.
Yeah, he had wanted to keep our character from Friday the 13th, Blood Loss for you. But since we have it associated with the fan film and everything, it won't be really possible. But we can come up with something that's similar and everything that I think everybody is going to really enjoy. And we just really, really enjoyed you playing that character. And we just would hate to see it just be so confined to one thing.
Yeah, our idea for Shawn's character, and for Shawn, as long as he'll keep hanging out with us, is just to get him involved with like all the projects, so that character keeps popping up in these different projects, kind of doing the same kinds of things that you would expect from that character. I think once people see Blood Loss, they'll have a better idea of what's going on with Brain, and then you can kind of put two and two together, I think, and figure out what we're doing with Boredom and Bloodshed and the other ones. But yeah, as long as we can keep having you come to hang out, we just want that the new character popping up and doing these same kinds of things.
Yeah, the same kind of things.
So I'll be the Orville Ketchum of the Forever Entertainment universe.
I don't know. I think I know what that means, but it sounds good. It sounds right. What is Orville Ketchum? Is that an actor?
Well, he's a character. I don't know I'd have to look up to see what his real name is, but have you watched a lot of Jim Wynorski films?
Mm-mm.
He was one of the guys that worked a lot with Roger Corman, and there'd be this guy that would appear in every film, and he was sort of the guy that everyone, if it was a slasher film, everyone would think he'd be the slasher, and he would then get killed, but he just appeared over and over again in a lot of the B films. I always found it funny that he had the same name.
Yeah, you would be the reoccurring character in the Forever Entertainment films. At least all those the upcoming
short
shorts. Yeah, Killer Pizza is probably a different thing, and then the thing that we're gonna do after that's different too. But definitely want to keep using that character, and you never know where these short films will go. So we have more than one planned. I think we've already mentioned that publicly. So we have more than one planned. So let's say after Killer Pizza and after this other thing that we're gonna make, we could be looking for ideas, then come back to these short films and then pluck these characters and say, okay, well, we made the 20-minute build up. Let's go make the feature length film and make something bigger out of the new Shawn Robinson character, the new Christian Bester character, whoever's in the film. So it's exciting for me because we get to create new characters that are original that we can actually use in feature films, and then get that kind of out there. Whereas Blood Loss is a lot of fun, but that was the whole point. We can't monetize it. We don't own the IP to Friday the 13th or Jason Voorhees or any of that stuff, but we could own the rights to Killer Pizza or whatever Sean's character's new name is. So
we'll have everything set for him.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm super excited for it. Sean, have you seen Deadpool and Wolverine?
Oh yes, it's like one of the best movies of this year.
It is, right? I love it. I've seen it more than once at the theater. We have the unlimited pass, so you pay one low monthly price, and you can go as many times as you want to. It's super fun.
We're not being paid by them.
No, we're not. All right. No free plugs for Regal. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, Regal has an unlimited pass where you pay that monthly fee, and then you can see all the new movies that are released all month.
Sean, we have to ask you. Yeah, I like it. I enjoy it. It's been fun. Sean, I have to ask you a very important question. Everybody's been asking us, and since we have you here, we need a definitive answer once and for all. Who is the best Batman?
So I'm probably going to go with Michael Keaton.
See?
I think it's a good answer, You can't go wrong with Michael Keaton as Batman.
I think I like the look of Ben Affleck as Batman.
I
think the fact that he looks miserable all the time really fits the character, but he did not have the best film, so.
That's true. He had some really bad films. Really awesome Batman, I think, but just really bad films. Did you see The Flash?
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think?
It felt like a movie that was written by 10 different people and had 6 different directors.
It might have been. Was it? Did they have like directors getting fired, leaving the set, and all that kind of stuff? Oh, okay. Didn't know. I enjoyed it for what it was. I like seeing Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck, and I think Ezra Miller, I think, is actually a good actor. He's just, he's not the most popular human being on the planet.
I don't know how much is true and how much is gossip from what I heard, but apparently he was very hard to work with.
They were hard to work with. They were
hard to work. Right.
We're gonna stay in business tonight. Just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Matthew White says Adam West is the best Batman, and MANDEE, I think, agrees.
I liked him for the show.
You liked him for the show?
So
Adam West, you can't go wrong with any of the actors.
And then when they introduced everything, and they came out with Batman with Michael Keaton, that just made everybody be like, yeah, everybody loved Batman again.
Did you Did you ever get the chance to meet Adam West at like a Comic-Con or anything?
No, I've never met him.
Adam West is so funny.
I'd like to meet Adam West.
Adam, if you're watching tonight, give us a ring, man. We're waiting
But
on you.
I heard a rumor that he actually wanted to play an older Batman if they did something more akin to the Dark Knight. But they didn't go with him. They went with Michael Keaton. And ironically, they actually wanted Bill Murray for that role.
Yeah, at one point, Prince was trying to go for Batman. Michael Jackson wanted to play Spider-Man in a movie, and they were kind of like in competition. Michael Jackson was like a huge comic book fan, and he was trying to get a Spider-Man movie made. He wanted to be Spider-Man, and so Prince was kind of like, if you're going to be Spider-Man, I'm going to be Batman. And then they didn't end up making either one, and Prince's music ended up in the first Batman movie. They did have like the Bat Dance and all that stuff, but yeah, that was it. That was my story.
Heard that Prince thought when he was doing the Batman stuff, the music for the film, that he was going to be part of Joker's gang.
A
lot
of
character
weird
he plays,
stories.
that's like half Batman, half Joker that you see in the video was what he wanted to wear on set. But
sounds about right.
Some of those stories I've read on that, they don't come from the most reliable sources. So,
yeah, who knows? Who knows? It's fun to think about, though. All right. So while we still have you here, I have to ask you: Star Wars or Star Trek?
I'm gonna go with Star Trek. I like both of them, to be honest. But back in the day, I liked the fact that Star Trek tried very hard to be scientifically accurate, even though it technically wasn't. But they would hire like scientists to go over some of the scripts to make them more plausible. While Lucas was like, it was the Force.
Yeah. Have you seen Alien Romulus?
Oh yeah, I like that a lot.
You did?
Yeah.
So we went and saw it. We liked it, and then we got all the Alien movies, and we've been binge watching them every night, and then doing reviews on them. It's been pretty fun. We have to finish up AVP tonight.
Yeah.
And then we have to get AVP too.
If you want to really complete your whole Aliens, whether you decide to read the full-on novelization or read the graphic novel, William Gibson actually wrote the script to Alien 3. And it's not even close to what you saw in Alien 3. And, they made so many changes to the script that he literally had his name taken off of it. But years later, he actually got permission to, I don't know how, because he wrote it, but I mean, so you could put it out, but he got permission to write it as a novel. So the novelization of Alien 3 is based on his original script. And then I think it's Dark Horse Comics did a comic adaptation of it. So you can see the alien where Newton Hicks don't die. The alternate universe.
Oh, I see. Okay. I saw something where I don't know who now, but somebody was saying that they wanted to do like an Alien 4 where Newt lived or something like that. Or Alien 3 where Newt lived. But I don't remember.
Around the time that Alien Covenant was going to come out, there was two camps. They were going to make two Alien films. And one would have been a sequel from Aliens, and with the character of Hicks being the main star. I don't know if they probably would have cast a new girl as Newt, or maybe they would have had the same girl come back because he was also getting up there in age. But unfortunately, he passed away, so that project died.
So I think you've mentioned comic books and comic book characters a few times tonight. What's your favorite comic book series?
Well, I like a lot of them, so I've always been a big fan of the horror comics, which is more of like sort of an anthology, not a full-on series. If you want to talk about superheroes, then I'm not going to lie, my favorite superhero is Plastic Man.
It's interesting.
I don't know why. I just like those like B or C level heroes that nobody talks about.
Well, I think is Plastic Man public domain?
No, he's owned by DC. DC used to
Okay.
buy out other companies and then like incorporate their heroes into the DC universe, but they always were sort of like on a sub tier. Like they could talk to Superman. Superman would be like, I don't want to deal with you. Go away, Plastic Man.
It's interesting. What about the horror stuff? What kind of horror comics?
Well, I mean, obviously Tales from the Crypt.
Okay.
But I used to read Eerie and Creepy and Vampirella. There was a period of time, and once again, I'll be showing my age when I say this, where I was all over a book called Gore Shriek. Gore Shriek was the most disgusting comic that was supposedly out, and certain stores wouldn't sell it because of how violent it was. I like all the zombie comics. I bought like all the Night of the Living Dead type comics, and The Walking Dead and things like that. I'm also a big reader of manga. If you haven't read anything by Junji Ito, he's the guy I would recommend. His big famous work is probably Tomie. The other big work he's come out with is Uzumaki. That's basically the Japanese word for spiral. And this entire town goes insane because they become obsessed with spirals.
Never heard of that one.
Never heard of it?
No.
Well, Uzumaki is actually getting an anime adaptation at some point this year. It's going to be on, I think they said it was going to be on Cartoon Network. I don't remember that offhand. It was announced at Comic-Con. Actually, it was announced at Comic-Con right before the pandemic, and then it got delayed for like ever and got announced at this last one that I didn't attend. So I'm getting that information secondhand.
Do you want to ask anything before I keep going?
Okay. When you filmed with us and everything, when you came to set and everything, you got to meet everyone and work with everybody and stuff like that. But my main question is, was it what you were expecting?
Well, generally it was what I was expecting. I mean, everything's always a little different, but I mean, I was there to film some scenes, and I knew we were filming in the woods, so it was more or less what I expected.
Here's a question, a follow-up for that. Did you want to ask something else, or? All right, so I think the first scene that you filmed was in the pouring fucking rain.
Yeah. Well, that was definitely not what I expected.
So, so the first scene you filmed
I can't see on my left eye right now.
was in the
If I'm
pouring.
with the faces, sorry.
The first scene you filmed was in the pouring rain. Was that the first time you had ever filmed in the rain?
Yes.
Yeah. What was that like?
Well, I think it, strange enough, really got me into character.
It was, we were ready to shoot. It starts raining and then it starts pouring, and we have just a few of us out there in the woods. You were there, obviously. I was there. Mandy was there. Mykall was there. which is kind of like a light spoiler, I guess. But it's just the four of us out in the woods, pouring rain. We have the camera, and we have to cover the camera quick. So I just threw a sweater over the camera. She found an umbrella, covered that. You guys are drenched, like, you're just in the rain. And
We were drenched too.
I thought it added to the scene, and I thought that was cool. But going back to the whole kind of like influencing actors thing, I thought once you guys filmed in the rain, that set a new precedent for the, if that's even the word I'm looking for, but it set like a new standard for what I thought the other actors on set should be reaching for. Like, I made a joke like, oh, okay, you guys filmed in the rains, now Christian's got to film a scene in, like, in the fire or something like that, like it was, we weren't gonna not make the movie, like we were going to make the movie at whatever it cost. So if it's pouring out and it's time to film the scenes, Shawn's out there doing his thing, willing to go get the scene made. Mandy and I are out there in the pouring rain getting the scene made. Michael Davis is out there in this. We're not complaining. We're getting the thing done. And I thought that was a good way to kick off that day. I think it was Tuesday, right? Tuesday?
Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it was
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
A Wednesday. He showed up on a Wednesday.
What?
Shawn was there on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday? Okay, well then it was a great day to kick off a Wednesday. Great way to kick off a Wednesday. I thought, you guys showing the willingness to do that was, it was just something good for the other actors on set. They're out there filming in the rain. So it did, like, they didn't have excuses after that. They couldn't have excuses because you guys are out there in the pouring rain getting the scene done. So now it's like, if you're hungry or whatever, it's like, I don't know. I just thought it was, just showed that you guys were willing to get the scene done and do whatever it took to get it done. So.
Yeah, dedication, professionalism.
Well,
yeah.
I've done pretty much all the movies I've done have been low budget or micro budget films.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had the chance of going, no, let my double do that for me. So
yeah,
I've always, taken the bumps or whatever. I think that shows that you're passionate about the project, and if somebody's willing to do that with you, they're also passionate about the project.
Yeah,
helps bond us as actors.
Yeah, so again, Shawn showed up on time. He had the correct wardrobe, knew his lines, didn't complain, didn't make any special requests, didn't demand anything, didn't cause drama, did a good job all around. I think everybody enjoyed being around Shawn. So
I think that it was a great way to introduce their characters as well, Mykall's and Shawn's. I think that scene, especially because it was raining and stuff like that,
well,
it just
it
really
introduces Brain's character, but not Henry.
Well,
Is that what you
introduce our
said?
characters together.
It was their
Yeah, it's
characters
together.
They got
Yeah.
to-
Yeah.
It wasn't introducing them in the film. I'm saying in person when they actually got to act together.
Hmm. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. In the prop that we used, I thought that was fun. So I just like that whole scene. But very cool.
Yeah, I really want to see what that turned out like. I felt it, but I haven't seen it.
Anything else you want to ask that before I ask a couple more fun ones and let them go for the night?
No, that was the main thing. I wanted to get the feel on like his point of view on how it was to film in the rain and everything. And he answered it, and we covered everything pretty well with that.
What are Shawn's hopes for Boredom and Bloodshed?
Sound like a Magic 8-Ball question.
Did he freeze? I think he froze. He froze up. Uh-oh. We'll give him a second.
Uh,
I can,
dark with
I can hear him.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Shawn, you're frozen.
He sounded like a robot.
Shawn was an android the whole time.
He was an android the whole time.
All right. Well, maybe it's can hear him, but I think it's having some issues. Maybe Shawn, where'd you go? All right.
You asked the wrong question.
So it was fun having those guests on while they lasted. Friday the 13th Blood Loss Finishing Funds campaign goes live on Indiegogo Sunday at midnight. We will have a brand new trailer. We'll have all new perks, autographed merchandise, last chance producer credits, and more. Help us out by donating to the campaign when it goes live and share the link as much as possible. All of your support is appreciated very much. Boredom and Bloodshed is still live on Indiegogo for the next several days, about 14. And here's Shawn Robinson to talk to us about it. Oh my God, I told you he was here.
I'm back. Like I never left, except I did. Except I didn't.
So, Shawn, what are your hopes for Boredom and Bloodshed?
Well, I hope it is, as fun and interesting to do as the last film. Obviously, I'm very interested to figure out what my character will be doing. I hope I hope I am witness to some gruesome murder, so I can see the cool special effects you guys do.
You don't want to be killed, but you don't get to be killed.
I don't want to be killed myself, but
Yeah,
be witness
we have to
to
bring
it.
you back all the time.
So we gotta up the violence in this one. No, I don't know. It should be a pretty fun time. It's we have this Halloween party scene that we're doing. We have the kind of new Shawn. I don't want to say brain, but the new the new iteration
New and
or
improved
whatever.
brain.
So it's not brain,
It's
right?
not brain.
All right.
Can't say that.
But yeah,
but it's not.
the new Shawn character and Christian Bester's gonna film some cool scenes. We have some new cast members we're gonna announce soon and all kinds of cool things. So super excited for that. We'll be able to show off some of the props soon too, so we won't have to wait till.
Bester's going to be in it without mommy issues this time.
Oh yeah. So we'll be able to show off some of the props soon, and then we'll be filming before we know it. So that'll be pretty fun. And then we'll be off to the next one, and it'll just keep happening.
The next one's on a cruise ship. I'm joking.
It sounds fun. Yeah, it's killer on the cruise, but just had people dying in brutal ways on the ship.
Be cool.
You heard it here first. For you guys out there looking at. It sounds fun.
Killer idea. I'll come and hurt you. No, I'm joking.
So we have that. Then we have Killer Pizza, Boredom and Bloodshed's on demand live on Indiegogo. It's set to go in demand. There's like 13 days left on the campaign. People can still tune in, get some cool perks. All the money that's donated goes towards producing the film, so it'll allow us to be able to make this thing. Killer Pizza's in demand on Indiegogo for the people watching. We still have unique acting opportunities, producer credits, custom merchandise, and more. Help us out by donating to that campaign. So, Shawn, before you go, I have to know, what is the best Quentin Tarantino film?
So there's a part of me is always going to answer From Dusk Till Dawn, just because it has the vampires in it. I love me some monsters. But I actually have to say Kill Bill Part 1.
Speaking of From Dusk Till Dawn, Walter Phelan, aka Dr. Satan from House of a Thousand Corpses, will be in Killer Pizza, and he worked on From Dusk Till Dawn. How cool is that?
He was actually one of the vampires.
Yeah, he's one of the vampires
Yeah.
in it. So it's interesting that you say Kill Bill Volume 1 because it's not my favorite Quentin Tarantino film, but I actually think it is better than Kill Bill Volume 2. Yeah.
It's the whole. I just found that the whole first part, especially when she goes into Tokyo, is just like amazing. I also liked, when she escapes from the hospital and the first big fight. I'm not going to say that part 2 was a disappointment, but it wasn't anywhere near as cool as part 1.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like part 2, but I don't like it as much as part 1. Yeah.
I'm always going to say Reservoir Dogs.
What?
Reservoir Dogs is
I like
classic.
that one a lot. Yeah, I like it a lot. My favorite has been Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Did you like that one?
It wasn't my favorite. At the time, I was annoyed that they made the stuntman a better fighter than Bruce Lee. I don't know why, but that just kind of irked me. I know this is me being an uber fanboy when I say that.
No, it
How
doesn't
dare
matter.
you talk smack about Bruce Lee?
Any other questions for Shawn?
No, we asked a lot of questions, but if anybody wants to contact you, Shawn, to maybe work on projects and everything like that, are you open to that? For one, and how can they contact you formally?
I am always open to that. I mean, if you go to my Twitter or my Instagram or my YouTube account, I think it has my email on that. At the time when I created what I thought was my professional email, I thought I was doing something unique, but then I realized when I spell it out, it's very difficult to remember, but it's Shawn Robinson is just this guy at gmail.com. It's IZ and not IS.
All right. Shawn?
But yeah, I'm at King Ghidorah. If you want to follow me on Twitter. I don't remember it. If you look for Shawn Robinson comedian, or you should probably pull up both my Instagram and my YouTube on that, but I actually don't remember what the Earl name is for those. I probably should have been prepared. I could just like rattle them off, but I wasn't.
What's your favorite amusement park ride?
What the heck?
I like the Jurassic Park riverboat ride at Universal Studios in Orlando. In fact, I'm such a dinosaur nerd that even if it didn't go off the rails and have the puppet dinosaurs attack you, I probably would still like it. Well, look at the animatronic dinosaurs. It's so real.
What do you think people should expect from Friday the 13th Blood Loss?
I think they should expect to be thoroughly entertained. You're going to see Jason and doing all the Jason things, but there's this extra level on it that I don't want to really say because I don't want to spoil things. But when it happens, you're going to go, oh my God, they went there. And these things are happening. It's sort of like old crossover stuff. That's all I can say without spoiling anything.
We tried to make it fun. I hope people enjoy it. I think they will. I think they're going to see people like Shawn Robinson and Mykall Davis and Christian Bester and Clifton Taylor and all the cool people that were involved with the film. And they're going to be excited to see what you guys did with the characters and hopefully, get that cult following for the film that I think you guys deserve. And I think we got some cool things to look forward to.
Yes.
I hope everybody enjoys it. The new trailer is live on Indiegogo Sunday at midnight. Oh, it's coming up quick.
Ooh, I have to check it out.
everybody will have a new trailer to look at with updated footage and all the new actors and all the new characters and all that stuff. So
Your cup is empty.
I'm looking forward to seeing the reaction for it. Until then, we'll let Shawn go. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. It was a blast. We'll have to have you on again some night with maybe with some of the other actors and do a combination. But thanks so much for hanging out with us. We're looking forward to filming with you on Boredom and Bloodshed and sort of secret, not so secret other projects that we keep hinting at. So thank you for all that you've done. And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Good night.
How cool was that? I told you you'd be
I was
here.
on here for like an hour and a half. How cool is that?
That was Shawn Robinson and Mykall Davis. Super cool. They've never been live with us before. This is the very first time. Mykall Davis is Henry, the main antagonist from Friday the 13th Blood Loss. And Shawn Robinson is Brain in Friday the 13th Blood Loss. He has a cool supporting role. It's very fun. I'm excited to see what you guys think about all the cool stuff that they did in the movie once it comes out. The new trailer is released Sunday at midnight. The brand new Indiegogo campaign for Friday the 13th Blood Loss goes live at the same time with all the new perks. Movie premiere tickets being the one I think people are most excited for because they want to go to the movie premiere, right?
Yeah.
Where are you going? You disappearing? AirPods die?
Oh, I got to turn this off now. Hold on.
All right. Hang on.
There we go.
All right. So, yeah. Anyway, the Indiegogo campaign for Friday the 13th Blood Loss goes live Sunday at midnight. It'll have movie premiere tickets, a brand new trailer, all new perks, including autographed merchandise, free used items, Jason's axe, some machete replicas, autographed Blu-rays, autographed posters, brand new poster designs, and more. Check that out. Get all the cool perks. Help us reach our goals so we can have a movie premiere and get this thing released. And share the link as much as possible. Boredom and Bloodshed is live on Indiegogo right now. We're only a couple $1,000s away from reaching our goal. If we get there within the next 13 days, we'll have free raffle night and give all of the backers some cool merchandise that we showed off last night. If you missed that episode, go watch it, see all the stuff we had. Killer Pizza's in demand on Indiegogo right now. It has an amazing cast attached to it. We haven't been talking about it as much because it kind of speaks for itself. It has Tom Glynn from Creepshow, Walter Phelan from House of a Thousand Corpses, Tam Taylor, Colin Fiol, Al Burke, Nancy Ann Ritter, Mark Brubaker, Christian Bester, Lisa Hins, Nathaniel Oliver, and so on, and so on, and so on. And if you're not a part of it, then I don't know what is wrong with you. Sign up for a perk today. Join the cast. If not, you're going to miss out. We're going to try as hard as we can to make this thing a hit. It's going to look awesome. Mandy has a bunch of cool ideas for it. She'll probably put it on some awesome streaming site or something like that in the future. Who knows?
Something like that.
We're going to do cool things with it. I don't want you guys to miss out because then you'll cry and I'll be like, I'm sorry, I tried telling you. So go to Indiegogo today, donate toward the campaign. You can still get your name on the official poster, but you have to sign up soon. We have brand new t-shirt designs, the replica hats, which I'm getting. I can't wait to get my hat and all that cool stuff. So get there today, donate, and help us by sharing the campaign. And until then, well, we're back Wednesday. We're back Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern with actors David White, Genevieve Broly, and Meadow Doherty to talk about their experiences filming Friday the 13th Blood Loss. So y'all better come check it out, hang out with us, ask us some fun questions. It'll be pretty fun. We appreciate all the support. You okay?
Yeah, it's time to get off of here.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Have a good night. Goodbye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody. It was a lot of fun.